What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, I want to go over my take on Armanz the Magnificent, the upcoming fusion later on this week. I know I didn't have a chance to go over him when he first got released 2 days ago, but I want to make sure that I give my opinion on him and make sure it gets the word out on how ridiculous this champion is, because I do believe he belongs in that spotlight a little bit longer. I'm also going to go over some tips and tricks on how to prepare for this fusion. I know we don't have much time, so I'm going to give you guys some relevant strategies on what you can do to maximize your chances of getting this champion and things you can prepare for right now. So let's jump right into it. All right, guys. So a quick run through on this champion's kit, why it is pretty important for basically everyone that plays this game to pick up this champion, pick up this fusion. Let's go over his kit real quick here. So his A1, he's got 55% chance to basically lock out a skill for 2 turns. Will be obviously accuracy based. He gets 10% for each turn added to his cooldown. So most likely to 20% added, 20% turn meter added to himself on his A1. This makes him really strong for locking out like revivers or damage dealers, and this is just his A1, so even if he is locked out, he can still perform his ability. It's only 55% chance, but most likely it will at least lock him out for at least 1 turn. And so very strong A1. His A2 is absolutely insane, because if you consider what 3-turn 100% stun moves were back in the day, there's probably no such thing. I know Seal the Drakes is a double hit and it's a 3-turn, but it's not 100%. It's like 30% or 35%. So that's Seal the Drakes. I think Hoskrul is an epic with a 100% stun. I think it might be a 4-turn or it might be a 3-turn. But to me, a 3-turn stun is already absolutely insane. 100% stun. On top of that, it has this ridiculous steal all turn meter of each target except enemies under sheep. This condition won't happen very often in PvE. Of course, in PvP, you might run into sheeps, but you know, let's leave the little sheeps alone, okay? Let's not steal the 150 speed sheep turn meters. Give them the 150 speed turns that they're getting, okay? Let's leave the little sheeps alone. So anyways, this steal turn meter is actually freaking insane, especially on a 3-turn duration move. So, yeah, if you're fighting arena teams for 4 champions and you steal 4 champions worth of turn meter, like you're almost guaranteed to get an extra turn, or at least 100% turn meter. If you're going up against, you know, obviously PvE content with 5 enemies, you're probably going to steal way more than 100% turn meter. This basically means he gets an extra turn very often, and this move on a 3-turn cooldown makes it absolutely, I'd say, busted good. It probably should be a 4-turn cooldown ability, or it should have a cap on the turn meter steal, or it should be a chance to turn meter steal. I think it's a little bit, you know, it's just a little bit too busted, All right, so you'll see it's A3 for my next trick. So this is the move that's kind of, you know, ruffling a lot of people. I think his greatest hits, his A2 is incredible for, like, you know, PvE content, wave-based content, obviously arena content, but his A3 strictly for arena, obviously, most likely, since it's more like polymorph related. He places a sheep on an enemy first, and then he has 100% chance fully booked to steal all buffs from all enemies. Then he fills the turn meter for each buff removed. I mean, if you're stealing 4 to 8 buffs, that's 20 to 40% turn meter. I would say on average, you're probably stealing 4 to 8 buffs, somewhere around there. Or not stealing, but you're removing. It's also kind of interesting that you place the sheep first and then you do the removing of the buffs. I think that's a good way of, I think that's a way to increase the strength of this move, to be honest, because you kind of can sheep the trouble minion and then you do the buff strips. So you can, like, for example, strip the Necrit minion, or you can sheep Necrit and then you can do all the strips, for example. Just an example, but very powerful move. 3-turn cooldown again. Again, this move probably should be a 4-turn cooldown. But yeah, I think it's a little bit too crazy, especially in the way it can be used in arena. And his his passive is absolutely busted, because once the sheep expires or removes, not many champions can remove sheep right now. Suzanne can do that, but it's going to expire. When they expire, increase the cooldown of a random active skill to its max. I mean, if you're waiting for a reviver to come back from sheep to revive your team, and they wake up with a max cooldown on the revive, like you're done, right? Like you're totally locked out. This guy is going to get more turn meter, and then he's going to just totally control your team. Or speed in all battles, 28%. I mean, just an insane PvP champion. It's also insane for PvE just with the A2. It's going to be full support, most likely. I'd be really surprised if this guy deals damage. Most likely not. At least we hope not. It's kind of weird that his A2 here has 20% books damage in books, but hopefully he's all support, no damage. But yeah, increase ally speed in all battles, in arena battles as well, is obviously very, very strong. Arbor is 30%, just for reference. So is this guy worth going for everyone? I think, Plarium is giving us something to play with for the long term, right? This champion is probably going to be, meta defining for the next 6 to 12 months, or at least in their designs for the next 6 to 12 months. So whatever they got in the pipelines are probably going to be real nasty. And this champion, since it's a fusion, might be the answer to whatever they have available coming to us in the future. So like, we think maybe Taras Marichka is bad right now. We think Narcissus is a counter to shake up the meta. But I think this guy, he's going to shake up the meta. But I think he's probably going to be the tool that's going to be used to fight off the future. I hope so. Because if they're going to make champions like this, with a kit this busted, because he has lockout in his kit, he has a strip, he has sheep, he has turn meter steal, and he has turn meter boosting on himself. So he can be incredibly fast. He can take over a game by himself. And, he locks you out. Even if you get a turn against him, you're either stunned or sheeped or locked out. It's just absolutely insane. So, this champion is 100% must get. I would think he's not limited. I don't think so. You can pull him eventually, but I think if you have the capacity to get this champion, I think he's definitely worthwhile. Even if you don't focus on arena, even if you're early or mid game, and you don't care about arena at this point, I think having this champion available to you will definitely make your life a lot easier 6 to 12 months in the future. But I think even as a earlier mid game champion, you can definitely find some use for this guy. Just letting him carry you through some dungeon content, some wave-based content, Doom Tower, any Centrano stage this guy's in. He should be able to handle anything the game throws at him from a wave-based standpoint. He's not going to be a boss killer, so he's not going to help you do clan boss damage or kill bosses or anything like that. So that might be the one thing that might keep early or mid-game players out of the running for this guy, or maybe make them think that they want to hold resources for somebody else. But I think this guy makes a strong case for everybody wide should get this guy. And I'm going to recommend that everybody gets this guy, because he has such a unique and insane kit. Immediately, like just reading it, there's not too many ways that this can be surprising from test server footage, I think, that makes this guy so much worse that I would probably say that I would change my opinion on him. But right now, I think he's absolutely busted. So, all right, guys. So I pulled up the old Blizzard fusion calendar here. The reason I chose Blizzard is because he was the last hybrid fusion that we had. And if you guys didn't know, Armanz, the upcoming fusion, will be a hybrid fusion as well. This means that you have to collect fragments to build epics and then fuse the epics at the end. And that's how you're going to get your fusion legendary. So in this case for Blizzard, it used 4 of the same copies of epic champions. This isn't exclusive to this type of event. In the past, it used to be separate affinities, but for Blizzard, it was all the same affinity. I think Plarium does this because I think Plarium thinks it's maybe harder for individuals to have stockpiles of one affinity as opposed to more spread out resources for all affinities. So I would assume that they would probably use 4 magic epics for Armanz. So if you guys are low on magic potions, make sure you guys hit up the potions keep to stock up throughout the fusion, just to make sure you guys have it. You guys have to build up the epics from 4-star level 1 all the way up to level 550. Fully ascend them and then fuse them at the end. Keep in mind that it costs, I believe, 3 million silver to fuse them into the fusion at the end. So make sure you guys have that little bit of silver at the end. So just want to use Blizzard's schedule here as a quick little rough guideline on what we can maybe expect and how we can maybe prepare for the upcoming Armanz fusion. So for Blizzard, we actually didn't have much room for error. Blizzard Fusion gave us an extra event here, this Hero's Path, which gave us room to skip 2 events or miss 2 events. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to complete the epics and we would have to pull an epic. I mean, that's a long shot chance, but it's not going to happen. But it's really hard to plan around this Hero's Path because we didn't know what it was. And it was very late in the event. In the end, the Hero's Path ended up being a summon event paired with a stone pull event paired with a training event. And it gave us Blizzard's 5-star soul as a reward. So I fully anticipate that Armanz will have a similar Hero's Path. And I think Armanz's soul obviously will be incredibly powerful for him. So if you guys are going to be doing Armanz's fusion, I highly recommend going for his soul because that's a huge power boost. And I don't know what it's going to take to do it, but you know, we got to be prepared for everything, right? So if you guys are in the position to save up shards or have shards ready, I would definitely prepare for a potential Hero's Path that potentially has summoning associated with it. And you know, it's going to be for Armanz's soul. And I think that's going to be a great power boost for him. So that's fine. But if you're just looking to complete this fusion with as much ease as possible, we have the usual 3 artifact enhancement events. You got to make sure that you are saving your silver. Make sure you guys are using the forge, gear cleansing yourself. Make sure you guys are ready with the silver. I know you guys have 2 weeks to amass roughly 60 million silver, but that's what you guys are going to need to complete the 3 artifact enhancement events. You guys are going to need some energy for the dungeons, of course. Hopefully you guys were saving up some energy during the 2-week downtime. Lastly, of course, the biggest thing is going to be the shard requirements. If you guys don't have the shards right now, and I'm talking maybe at least 5 sacreds, because that at least gives you some time to get through a week or two, get through a week or a bit more of saving sacreds for the next pull event. Or at least have a ton of mystery shards, then you guys can grind through the champion chase just using mystery shards. So you guys need some kind of shards to accumulate some kind of points so that you guys can go through some of the events, right? If you guys don't have shards, it's going to be really hard to finish this fusion. But I think in terms of what to expect, I think this is a good rough outline that we should probably look towards. And I feel like having a Hero's Path similar to Blizzard with the 5-star soul for Armanz makes total sense. For Blizzard, it wasn't super hard, but it did require training, summons, and I believe soul stones. I know we have an upcoming soul stone tournament pretty soon. Is it worthwhile to save those for a Hero's Path potentially later with soul stones. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. It's one of those things where Plarium's gonna get us one way or the other. I think personally, I'm still probably gonna pull for the double chance for some 6 stars. Generally, these hybrid events are gonna be pretty difficult because they require a little bit more planning to maximize the efficiency, because you want to train up your fragment epics during the training events, so you get points for those. You want to summon them during the champion chase tournaments so that you get points for those. But because there's going to be a champion chase tournament during one of these hybrid fragment events, players probably going to jack up the price on the champion chase tournament, knowing that we can save the epics for the chase tournament. So expect a higher than usual champion chase. So don't make that mistake of pulling your epic fragment champions early. Make sure you guys save those for the champion chase. It's very important. And yeah, I mean, that's going to be it for me. Those are just some quick pointers that I can see right now how we can prepare for this upcoming fusion. Like I said, this guy is going to be absolutely insane. I'd highly recommend him, probably for like 98% of the player population. He will be useful, helpful in some area of content, if not now, definitely in the near future. And I think anybody that picks him up right now, he's just going to be another tool for your toolbox, especially for arena. I think that's where most people are going to use him. As good as Sung Wukong is, he's probably going to replace Sung Wukong as like the premium support type champion that you're going to bring. I mean, I guess you can bring both, but he's probably going to replace Sun Wukong. So then you just put Sun Wukong at full damage. That's probably going to be the outcome. But yeah, anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think about Armanz. And let me know if you guys have any additional tips or how you guys are preparing for this upcoming fusion. What do you guys think about what I had to say about this upcoming fusion? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And have a good start to the week. And I'll see you guys in the next video.